respected college dean, a holy monk. What if you discovered it was terrifyingly easy and you never got caught? This is the story of a man who didn't just break the rules. He rewrote his entire identity over and over again.
Hey everyone, System Breaks here, and today we're diving into the unbelievable true story of Ferdinand Demara, the great impostor. This guy wasn't a thief, he wasn't a scam artist. He was something far more fascinating. He was a man who spent 20 years living other people's lives just to see if he could. So smash that like button and let's hack into this incredible story.
Our story starts not with a crime, but with an identity crisis. Ferdinand Demara was born into a wealthy family in 1921. But the Great Depression wiped them out, forcing a move to a poor neighborhood. The young Demara had his first taste of deception early. He'd carry polished shoes in his backpack, putting them on just before school to make his classmates think he was still rich. It was never about the money, it was about the perception. At 16, he ran away to become a monk, and he was good at it. He lasted 2 years, but left before taking his final vows. Then World War II hit. Fueled by patriotism, he enlisted, but army life was brutal. So he did what he would do best for the next 2 decades. He vanished. He stole a friend's identity, Anthony Ignolia, and simply disappeared. This was the key insight for Demara. A new name was a clean slate, a way to escape any life he found boring or difficult.
But this was just the beginning. His escape from the army unlocked a terrifying potential. What else could he pretend to be? How far could one man go with nothing but sheer audacity? If your mind is already blown, comment audacity below. And don't forget to subscribe for more insane true stories.
Demara's genius wasn't a photographic memory. It was a deep, intuitive understanding of human psychology and bureaucracy. He never invented personas from scratch. He'd find a real, qualified person, like Dr. Robert French, a psychologist, and simply become them. He'd get his hands on their credentials, then apply for jobs in remote, understaffed institutions, tiny religious colleges, prisons, hospitals on isolated islands. Why? Because in these places, the need for an expert was so great they rarely asked tough questions. A diploma was a ticket. His real skill was in avoiding situations where his knowledge could be tested. He'd take administrative roles, delegating the actual work to subordinates, who were just happy to have a boss who trusted them. He was a master of what he called expanding the vacuum of authority, creating new committees or projects where he was in charge, where there were no past standards to judge him by. He wasn't a genius. He was a master of perception.
His most famous act is the stuff of legend. During the Korean War, using the identity of Canadian Dr. Joseph Sear, Demara found himself on a naval ship. When wounded soldiers and civilians were brought aboard, the doctor was faced with a crisis. He reportedly locked himself in a room with medical textbooks, frantically studied the procedures, and emerged to perform major surgeries, including successfully removing a bullet from a man's chest. The myth says he saved 16 lives. The reality is a bit less Hollywood, but no less astounding. He wasn't the only medic on board. He had a qualified assistant, Dr. Bob Horcher, who did much of the work. Demara likely performed a few procedures, guided by his assistant and his quick study. But the legend grew. A radio operator sent stories of the hero doctor to the press, and that's when it all fell apart. The real Dr. Sear's mother saw the article about her son performing miracles in Korea while he was actually safe at home in Canada. The jig was up.
He was exposed on a national stage. But in a twist that proves just how likable he was, his shipmates sent him a Christmas card after his arrest, saying they still considered him a friend. How does someone become this persuasive?
The answer lies in principles of influence we all fall for. Stick around, because we'll break that down right after this.
After his very public exposure, life got harder. His face was in Life magazine. He couldn't hide as easily. He tried one last time, becoming a prison guard and rising to deputy warden, until an inmate recognized him from that same magazine article. He eventually settled down, finally earning a legitimate degree and spending his final years as a hospital chaplain, the kind of life he'd first sought as a teenager. He died in 1982, a man who had lived a dozen lives, but struggled to live his own. A doctor who knew him well said Demara was the saddest man I ever knew, who wished he'd had the courage to be himself.
So how did he do it? It wasn't magic. He was a natural master of Robert Cialdini's principles of influence. Authority, the fake diplomas and titles made him an instant expert. Liking, he was genuinely charming and friendly. People wanted to believe him. Social proof, once he was in a role, others accepted it, validating his presence for newcomers. He hacked the 5 questions our brain subconsciously asks. Is the source credible? Do others believe it? Is there proof? Does it fit my worldview? Is it a good story? For Demara, the answer was always yes.
Demara's story is a terrifying and fascinating look at the architecture of trust. He proved that sometimes the most powerful skill isn't what you know, but how you're perceived. If you found this story as mind-blowing as I did, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. Let me know in the comments, could something like this happen today with digital background checks?